Howdy, cats and kittens, students, academaniacs, and anyone who is out there listening. Welcome to the RPG Academy Sample Adventures. I am everyone's favorite co-host, the Caleb G. Our fearless leader, Michael, is on vacation fighting with bears. So wish him all the best luck. Wish us luck as well. We are here to do our sample adventure, one of our brand new series here on the Academy. Tonight, we are playing the Aliens role-playing game. I'm sure we will all have a wonderful time.
Hi.
Hello. Did someone say something? Am I imagining things?
I think I said dying. Yeah, I confirmed. We'll have a wonderful time dying.
Gotcha. I missed that. It's been a while since I've had these cans on my head. I heard a lovely voice coming into my ears. We'll get to you later, sir. So introductions. I am the Caleb G. Tonight I will be playing Holroyd. I am the mechanic. I am hardworking, industrious. I've been here on the base for a while, and I'm just here for a good time on the frontier. Introductions. Let's move on to Jerry.
I am Jerry H, aka Fool. I am playing a lab technician named Sonny Sig. He's in his late 20s, very curious and ambitious.
And bringing it around to that favorite sultry voice of mine, Michael.
Hey everybody, Michael. I use he, him pronouns. I'll be playing the part of Morgan Hirsch tonight, our favorite religious cleaner.
And with that out of the way, let's throw it to our GM for the evening. Everyone's favorite, mine especially, Big Al the lawyer.
Hi, everybody. This is Alan, Big Al Nicholas, Big Al the lawyer on Twitter. I'll be your mother for this session. That's what we're called in the book, Mother, from the Alien universe. And as Caleb told you tonight, we're going to be playing a sample adventure that is found in the Alien role-playing game book, the primary book, the first book. So this is not something that you buy separately. It comes in the actual book, and it is called Hope's Last Day.
And I forgot to mention, before we get started, content warning, we are playing an Aliens role-playing game. There's probably going to be some gross, scary things happening. The movie's rated R. Definitely our show might be rated R.
Definitely likely some body horror, I'm going to guess.
Possibly. Definitely some horror, for sure.
So content warning to all of our listeners out there, past, present, or future, you have been warned.
All right, so let's get started then, shall we? Hadley's Hope, jointly funded by Wayland Yutani and the United Americas, has a them and us feel to it, with any visiting corporate folk looking down their noses at the colony's laborers. Despite this, the colony has been developing well. There's opportunity aplenty and risk aplenty too. 4 days ago, a wildcatter named Russ Jordan was brought back, infected with something. He died, and some snake-like parasite disappeared into the guts of the base. Security has had no luck catching the thing, and somehow more people were infected. Rumor has it that some of them have died, and that there are more of these snake things than Supervisor Simpson is admitting to. Simpson spoke over the intercoms, calling for calm. But crisis or not, you have a job to do. 24 hours ago, you headed out on a maintenance run to Processor 9, happy to leave base until the crisis blows over. But 10 kilometers out, your tractor gave up the ghost. Nasty mechanical crunch told you it wasn't going any further. You called back to Hadley's Hope, hoping for some kind of help, and they told you you're going to have to wait. Your little problem is just going to have to wait until we're done with ours. And while you waited, you got to talking about the crisis and the Weyland-Yutani corporate shuttle that had arrived right before you left. The shuttle carried an inspection team led by company agent Miranda Reynolds and her chief scientist, Theodora Komisky. Sig relayed something he'd overheard, a hushed conversation about the shuttle being quickly and quietly readied for departure. Reynolds and Komisky are likely the only two who can authorize its use, and the only two with the access key cards needed to use it. For all you know, it was Reynolds who ordered Jordan out there in the first place. It's not right for the Weyland-Yutani reps to just skip out and leave you, the workers, to clean up this bloody mess. If things go bad, why shouldn't you get those key cards and get away instead? A day has passed, and you've still heard nothing. All further attempts to contact Hadley's Hope have been fruitless. No one is coming, and the only communications that you're receiving now are garbled and occasionally a scream that comes through. There's no option but to walk back and just find out what the hell it is that's going on there. All right. Right here on the map is the West Lock. This is where you have stumbled into from outside the wall. When you arrived into this little area, you were met with no fanfare. Nobody was there. It was quiet, except for some dripping, which shouldn't be normal, because usually with the AC working correctly, you don't have an accumulation of water. You don't have the humidity that would lead to this kind of noise that you're hearing. The lights are flickering, and they should be steadily on, but you haven't lost power completely. But you can't hear anything, nothing except for the sound of wind outside hitting all the structures that make up Hadley's Hope. After you sit there for about 10 seconds, the intercom squawks and you hear a scream and then a gunshot. You're not sure where it could have come from. It could have been anywhere. But at this point, everybody is going to add one stress to themselves. So we are starting with one stress.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So we are in Alien. There are two different modes of play. We are starting in the second mode, which is stealth mode. And what that effectively means is that your movement is somewhat limited. For instance, you can tell me that you want to go down the hall. That's fine. But you can't tell me you want to go to D1. You've got to make it through to D1. So you've got to take it one zone at a time in order to get there. So what would you guys like to do?
And please remind me here, Al, what mission were we sent out on?
You were originally sent to just do maintenance, basic maintenance.
Gotcha.
And so that is obviously out the window at this point in time. At this point in time, after listening to Sig talk, really what you're thinking about is how do we get out of here? Or what's going on, combination of.
I'm going to go to the comm unit, try to key the comm button. Hello? Hello? Is anyone out there? Does anyone respond?
There's no response.
Morgan grabs his necklace, kind of running his thumb over the cross. Look, keep your voice down, okay?
Well, we don't know what's going on yet.
Yeah, but something's going on. This is not right.
Yeah, I mean, this is...
Screams, it's too quiet. There's screams. Why are there screams?
We've got to get inside and find Reynolds or Kaminsky if we want to find out what the hell's going on here.
Like they're going to give us any answers.
Well, Is there any sort of like internal sensor array that that we could make use of to look at what's happening in other rooms, maybe?
Not here. There may be in other rooms, but there is not one here. The comm systems, normally act as kind of a you would initially, when you hit the comm, you would go up to the central offices, and they would redirect your comm somewhere else if you wanted it to go somewhere else. So whenever you got no response, you're essentially getting no response from the central offices that are in, that are right here.
Gotcha.
Is that a fair assumption that we're in front of a hatch, and is it closed, locked?
There is a ladder access right here, and that ladder access goes down to the sublevel 1, which is going to be where you've got like housing, maintenance bay, vehicles, cargo, things like that.
Well, Sonny's kind of smoothing out his lab coat, which I imagine is quite dirty right now from the walk back to this place, and says, we need to get to the central offices, I think is where we need to head to.
I was going to say,
Sig, don't go anywhere without me. Come on.
I was going to say we should go to the maintenance bay, get some tools. If we got to defend ourselves, that might be helpful.
Yeah, we heard those gunshots and that screaming. I wouldn't mind going to the armory if that's a possibility.
Do we have the access codes for the armory? Are we allowed to get in there?
You would not have the access codes. You could potentially get in there by use of force. Potentially.
Well, if we don't have the codes, I got this. And Morgan holds up from their side, pops up their cutting torch.
Which could do the job.
I don't have a lot of charges on it, but I mean, it'll work. It'll help us get in if we need to.
I'm not opposed to that plan.
Sounds plausible to me. Let's do it.
Okay.
All right.
I will take the lead.
So right now we're going down the hall. Is that correct? Are we going down the ladder?
We were going to go towards the armory. I'm looking on the map where that is, but I don't see it right away.
I believe it's going to be, let's see here. It's been a while since I looked at where the armory is. That's what I was looking for while y'all were talking.
I think it is in block B2 on level 2.
Yep. So the easiest way to get there is this. You're going to have to go down this hallway, and then there is a ladder access to level 2 right there.
All right. So like I said, I will lead the way, and we will head down to that ladder access.
Bookish lab technician will go second.
Well, I guess Morgan's going to pick up the rear.
The far off screams that you had heard previously are all gone at this point in time. There's an eerie silence that has settled over the buildings, at least where you're at. The only sounds that you can hear are your own breathing and the sound of your own feet walking down this empty corridor under flickering lights.
Was that like drip still happening?
Yes.
And if we look at the walls and the floor around us, is there any sort of like residue or dampness, anything I can kind of pick up on as we're walking?
Right here, the only thing is going to be some additional dampness.
Okay.
Just some water that's kind of acclimated, that's kind of formed on the walls from the humidity being higher than it should be.
Sonny would,
Go ahead.
Sonny would be on the lookout for a terminal to access along the way as we're moving through the building.
There will be an access terminal in that hallway as well.
Hey, let's stop here. Let me see if I can get some information off this thing.
Yeah. Maybe we should check out environmental controls. Like it feels really muggy and humid in here. Is that just me?
I'm with you. I agree.
Ugh, this is uncomfortable.
Now I'm sweating, but I don't know if it's because of the heat.
You're always a sweaty guy.
I don't need to hear that from you.
So with everything
I'm sorry.
With everything being a little less than normal in terms of the way everything is right now, you are going to need to roll a skill check on Comtech to see what you can find out from that terminal.
All right. So I have a 4 in wits and Comtech a 3. So that's a 7, I guess. And then I roll 1 stress.
That's correct.
Okay. One success.
Right. And what exactly are you looking for?
I think I'm going to look at the environmental controls and just see if there's any signs of life here, anything that seems to be functioning, perhaps do something about the lights if possible.
So you're able to successfully get into the terminal. And when you do so, the first thing that you're able to do is stabilize the lights. However, those are only the lights within the hallway. You've attempted to try and stabilize the entire block of C1, which would also, go upward to C2. But it seems as though some of the wiring has been damaged, most likely by water damage because of the humidity being what it is. You're able to determine that approximately 9 hours ago, the environmental controls failed. And right now, everything's livable, air's breathable, and all that. But it is going to continually get warmer because there is nothing at this point that is circulating in the air properly. And the air is going to get stagnant. And this is not going to be something you probably have to worry about because you still have probably 12 hours worth of air that's good and you're good to go. But at some point in time, you're going to start feeling it get a little bit warmer. That's about all that you can tell from the terminal access. The other thing that you can tell is that nobody else has accessed this terminal in the last 8 hours. The last access was about 1 hour after the environmental controls failed.
So Sig looks up from his terminal and says, well, I can tell 2 things. One, looks like there's been water damage that's going to continue to deteriorate these systems. The other interesting thing I was able to glean is that no one's accessed this terminal for at least 8 hours.
8 hours. Wonderful.
That's bad, probably.
Yeah, it's bad.
Do you know who the last person to access the terminal was? Do you see a login or?
No, it's whoever did it actually didn't get in. It's as though they were trying to very hastily look at something, and similar to when they're looking at your phone and you're just moving too fast and you don't hit the right codes to get in.
Well, if things are going to get worse before they get better, we should probably push ahead, try to see if we could get into the armory, and then take it from there.
Okay. So when you exit this ladder access to block C2, the administrator's office is right here. One thing that you would know is that when Wayland-Yutani, when the 2 individuals that showed up, Miranda Reynolds and the Dr. Comiskey, when they showed up, Miranda took over the administrator's office and kicked out Simpson, who nobody likes anyway.
Simpson was the planetary rep, correct?
Right.
Like the colony rep.
He was the colony rep. He was in charge of He was the supervisor of the colony, and of course he got kicked out of his little spot. And the rest of these are just the various offices that were held by different personnel. So the one office that you would associate with somebody is that first office. The lights here are flickering the same as they were before you were able to stabilize downstairs. It's hotter because you're higher and there's more humidity, and as a result, there's more water on the walls. Not quite streaming down, but you can definitely see it actually accumulating into drops and stuff.
Is the door to the office locked?
It's closed. Would you like to attempt to open it?
Yeah.
Opens easily enough. The office is in a state of chaos. There are papers that are tossed here and there. There's a desk, and seated at the desk with their back to you is the frame of Miranda Reynolds. So the desk would be right here, the chair is right there. She's swiveled it around and she's sitting right here, and she has her face kind of laying down a little bit like this. There is also above her a vent shaft access that's been twisted open. And that's it.
Ma'am, excuse me, ma'am.
I don't think she's going to answer you.
I'm going to walk over slowly, and we all know what's going to happen. I'm going to put my hand. I'm assuming this is a swivel chair, right?
Yes.
This has to be a good swivel chair.
Yes.
So I'm going to reach out ever so slowly as the tense music builds. Put my hand on it and try to swivel it around to look at her. Ma'am, Miranda.
When you do so, her head is going to kind of flop backwards, and you are going to see that she no longer has a recognizable face. It is still clearly Miranda Reynolds, but where she would have, eyes and nose and a jaw, it looks as though something has punched into it and probably even removed part of it, because it doesn't look like it's even all there pushed in. Her throat is also torn as part of that same action as what it looks like.
Oh, Lord God and baby Jesus.
There's blood that has just kind of soaked into the front of her shirt, which is, of course, the Weyland-Yutani corporate shirt with the Y right there. Really,
I will stumble back in shock as I see this gruesome sight. Oh, good Lord.
Everybody's going to take one more stress after seeing that.
Oh my God. What
Caleb, before you stumbled back, you also noticed that she does still have her key card, or at least the lanyard, around her neck.
So I will retch a little bit.
When you do that, Morgan does the same, just by proxy.
What?
I told you something's not right. This is something's horribly wrong.
It's like, was her jaw like ripped off, or is it still kind of hanging there?
It's like you said, it's hanging like to the side, like it's been ripped, except for maybe like some tendons on one side, and so it's kind of a big gaping hole.
All right. Well,
Caleb, are you okay?
I'm very sick in real life, which is why I've got this nice natural husk to my voice. Hirsch, say some prayers. Maybe look away for a second. I don't mean to disrespect the dead, but I need that key card. And I will very gingerly reach back in and try to like snap it away from the body.
Okay, so
Morgan does that. Morgan like looks like again takes the offhand and kind of brings it up to the necklace and like looks away, and you can hear Morgan like mumbling something under their breath. It sounds like a prayer.
So two things you're going to notice and or happen. The first thing is that you are successful in pulling the key card off the lanyard and to you. And in that same motion, you kind of flick or wipe the gore off of it. When you do so, you discover that the bottom half of it is missing. It's been torn off as part of this. So it does not work or will not work. The other thing that you see is that you've gotten close enough to her again in this act to notice that she has in her hand a personal comm, a small handheld comms device, something that you wouldn't normally see, nothing that you guys have normally here. And it has a light that's blinking on it. Yeah, those are the two things that happen.
Hey.
Oh, and you get one more stress for that delightful bravery.
Everybody or just
Caleb this time.
Yay! Hey, Sig, look at this without looking at that other part. But look, I think she had some sort of personal comm. Am I making this up? Do you see that?
I do. This is fascinating. What the hell happened to her? What did this kind of damage, and what's going on with the vents up there? He's like kind of looking at the gore carefully and looking at the lanyards and the key card, and then finally he looks at the personal comm link and reaches out for it to take it.
So when you have it, you realize that you've seen at least its type before, and that persistent blinking is somebody attempting to call it.
Oh, it's ringing.
Yes, like your cell phone.
I'll answer.
What's
Hello?
the ringtone?
Hello?
Hello? Hello? Who is this?
This is lab technician Sig. Who is this?
Where's Reynolds? I need to talk to Reynolds. Where's Reynolds?
Reynolds is, you
Dead.
might say,
Reynolds is dead.
I was going to say indisposed, but that works too.
Calm down.
Oh my God. I'm trapped. I need help. I'm trapped.
Who is this? Can you give us your name?
Comiskey. This is Dr. Comiskey. This is Dr. Comiskey. I don't know. I woke up and I'm trapped in the med lab. I can't, the doors are locked. I can't get through them.
Okay. Dr. Kaminsky, what the hell's going on here? What's happened here?
I don't know. Things were getting bad, and then I got sick, and I woke up here, and I've been trying to get out, and nobody's coming, and nobody's answering the comm, and I'm trapped. I need help.
Doctor, are you physically restrained in a bed, or are you locked in a room?
Locked in a room.
Is it locked from the outside or the inside?
You can get in. I know it because I recognize, well, I think you can get in. It's locked. It's not locked from the inside. I can't get out. So it's locked from the outside. But I'm sure that you can get in.
There's no like debris or anything blocking the way. The door is just locked.
Right.
Okay.
It's not jammed. It's just locked.
Do these comm units have like a hold button or a mute button?
Yeah,
right.
You've got a connection, but you can always just sever it.
Hold please, doctor.
Yeah, I'll click hold.
All right, I'm not going to get her because something's wrong with her, right? Right? We can agree on that one, right?
Yeah, and I could be wrong, but it sounds like she might be in a quarantine room from what she described.
Yeah, because she said she got sick and then she woke up there.
On the other hand, she's got the other card that we need because this one's not going to work for us.
Well, shit.
Well, she's a survivor, right? So I mean, we have to go find her. We have to go find her.
Yeah.
She's the ranking officer here. We're kind of obligated to.
Damn it, you're right. Okay. Here, open the channel again.
Click.
Sorry about that, Doc. Spotty comm lines. How you feeling? Are you feeling okay?
I'm fine. I'm fine. We need to leave. I know it because nobody's called, nobody's answering, nobody's here. We need to leave. I can take you with me. I can take you, but you need to help me. You need to get me out.
Okay. All right. Well, we are in the administrator's office right now. We're on our way to you. Sit tight. Don't go anywhere. Call back if something bad happens.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So let's end.
Click call. Yeah.
Okay. So the armory is on the way to the med lab. Let's go that way. I can go get her out and the two of you can get into the armory and then we can meet back up. How about that?
With only three of us, I don't know if we should split up.
Yeah, I don't think that's a very good idea, Holroyd.
I think I could probably get her out faster, and you getting weapons faster would be better.
How about we all get weapons and then we all get the doc?
I like that plan.
Okay, fine.
God helps those who help themselves, so let's help ourselves.
Okay. Let's head to the armory.
All right. As you exit this room and you're walking down the hall, you hear behind you a ripping noise as though metal is ripping, and then a sucking noise as though something is being forcefully removed.
In the office here with us?
Behind you. In the office where you were. I'm assuming you left the office.
Oh yeah, like we were walking out.
Yeah. Y'all are in the hallway is what I imagine, and you can hear it coming from the office that you just left.
I don't know what that is, but maybe we should walk a little faster.
Oh, I'll turn back and look.
So you can't see anything unless you actually go back and look.
Oh no. Like I'm gonna look over my shoulder while we're walking.
Yeah, no, there's nothing behind you. And the noise was sudden, but now is gone. And you're back to this dripping noise, and it's hotter than it was, but otherwise nothing else is happening. It's deadly quiet.
Let's walk faster.
Well, what was that? What was that?
I don't know. That's why we should walk faster.
And we're walking.
Maybe jog. Should we jog?
Light jog.
You have no problems going through this corridor. You have no problems going through these two doors. They're just automatic. However, when you get to this door, you would know that this is kind of the command block, and as a result, only individuals that are in the command block have access with their own cards. So any type of key card that you have personally would not get you in there. And that door is still locked.
Is there a way to override it, like hotwire it or anything like that?
Yeah, it's tough, but yes, you can attempt a Comtech roll. When you do rolls, you can assist as well. If you're assisting, you need to explain how you're assisting. And what that does is essentially it gives the person that's rolling one extra dice to roll with.
Yeah, I would love to jump in with an assist roll.
Okay. And as long as you can give me a good description as to how, I don't have any problems with it. So we'll just pretend that you gave me a good description as to how. And you both can. You can only do it up to a certain number, but there's only 3 of you playing today, so 2 is fine. And you're going to need it because whoever is rolling, this is a difficult roll. And as a result, you will lose 2 of the dice that you normally roll with anyway.
Ooh. So we're basically trying to hotwire the electric lock for this cell block, right?
Correct.
So in my mind, I'm kind of picturing this. Sig is probably working on the primary panel, like taking off the front of it and getting into the guts of it. And I think I can follow the electric line to like another junction, like a secondary power line maybe or something. And I'm getting in there trying to redirect to give him some extra power. And it's coming through A7, try B2. Like that's kind of how I think this is playing out.
Morgan's pacing back and forth down the hallway behind you with his cutting torch.
All right. So normally my roll would, I assume this is comtext, so it would be 4 wits, 3 context. So I subtract some, and then I guess I get 1 for an assist.
Right. You're going to subtract 2 and get 1. So it was 7 to start out with, and then down to 5, and then up to 6 plus 2 stress at this point.
Oh, so I don't have to roll to assist him. It's just narrative.
Just narrative.
Oh, cool. I was starting to type stuff into the dice roller.
3 success. And 3 success.
Oh, excellent. That's not just a success, but a fantastic success.
Go team.
So with the extra successes, you can do certain things. Give me 1 second so I can get back to them.
This was a comm test, right?
Yes. So you've got 2 stunts, essentially. One, you can hold one of those, and basically you don't get it as a success later, but you get it as an extra dice later. So you can hold one for a modification to a later roll if it's related to this one. Or if you happen to run into the exact same thing in the future, you can just pass it. You don't even have to worry about rolling again. You can do it in half the time that it would normally take. You can elect to get some new or unexpected information, which is kind of weird with being a door, but I can make it work. You can hide your tracks or you can show off. So you can pick 2 of those.
I think I'd like to do half the time it normally takes, and if I run into this situation again, I'd like to automatically pass it.
Sounds good. All right, so just note that for yourself. If you run into another door that's locked that you guys wouldn't have access to, with the exception of the armory, that's going to be something entirely different. But with the exception of that, you'll be able to successfully do it. Okay?
Oh, nice job, Sig.
Thanks for the assist. That was helpful with that junction and everything.
Yeah, whatever's fucking up the wiring, I think it kind of worked in our favor. I was able to bypass a couple things.
Polaroid language.
All right.
Sorry, Jesus.
So at this point, the door
accepts your
opens.
apology.
Thank you.
When the door opens, the air that escapes that block smells different than where you were. There is something that almost is metallic and feral in the air. Other than the smell, nothing else seems to be any different. Flickering lights, horrible humidity, but there is this smell.
What is that?
Oh, I've never smelled that before. Ugh. What is going on? Tastes like pennies. Yeah. I'm trying to kind of look in from the doorway. Ugh.
Smells like when we found that cat in the maintenance.
Oh, I forgot about that cat. Oh.
It smells kind of like that, but way worse.
2 cats. So from where we are standing, Al.
Yes.
Or can we see like the weapons racks, or are they further into the room?
No. So where you are specifically right now is just right here.
That's what I was afraid you were going to say.
And the door is right here. And this is a locked door. This is a highly secure area. So it is not something that you're going to be able to hack into. But you could probably, you could tear it down if you had the right equipment. You could potentially cut a hole in it if you had the right equipment. There's some things that you could do to get into it, but it's not going to just simply open for you. And of course, you can still see, let's see here, what's this? This is a terminal, and then there's also a comms, I think there. Yeah, there's an intercom and a terminal that are right here against the wall. But otherwise, this is a straight hallway. All these doors are going to be, well, you can only see one. So this door is open and you don't see anything in this room, and you can't see down the hall either way here, but you do know that the door to get into the armory is right there.
Was there ever anyone stationed in this room, or was there like a commander of arms that we would have known about as we've been living here?
You really wouldn't, because this would be above your pay grade.
Gotcha.
So there's none of you would have had any access to it.
I'm gonna look to the group.
Why don't we can ask Kaminsky if you think Kaminsky's got a card that works?
I think she'd have access.
Yeah, you got the comm sig, call her.
I'll ring her up.
Ring, ring. Are you here?
We're close. We have a question. Does your card have access to the armory?
The armory? No, I'm a scientist. I'm a scientist, and I'm Wayland Yutani. I can get us on that shuttle. That's what I can do.
Okay, well, there's a really strange smell around here, and just something's not right here. We haven't come across any souls other than the deceased Reynolds.
You hear kind of like half gasp, half yip type of noise from her. And then in a really quiet voice, she just says, "Please hurry."
You all right, Doc? Sound like you just made a pain noise or something.
I'm okay. I just think that you should hurry.
Okay, we'll be there as soon as we can. Hang up. Let's take a look at the other two. Shakes his head. No, I don't. If you didn't hear that, she says she doesn't have access to it.
Hey.
Right, so we just need to go open the door then, right?
Yes.
Well, I wonder if we can cut into it. I pointed your torch there.
Not a whole lot more it's good for.
All right, let's get to step in here.
Yeah, let's give it a try. I'll walk first into this room, kind of tentatively towards that hall in front of us that junctions left and right. Hello? Hello? Anyone there?
When you say that, And you're looking up and down the hallway?
Yeah, like I'm like right kind of edging my head around the edge of, peeking my head around the edge of that corner.
So
looking left and right.
Initially, right here, you see an open doorway, but you can't see anything inside of it. But when you say, hello, is anybody there? You hear a rattling, hissing noise, similar to a rattlesnake or an alligator. And into the flickering light, there is a creature that you've never seen in your life. And it hisses in your general direction.
What does this creature look like that I've never seen before in my entire life?
What the heck is that noise? Holroyd, what's that noise?
So this creature, I'm trying to find the exact size of it. Yeah, that's what I thought. This creature is standing on two back legs. It is about about 4 feet tall, somewhere between 3 and 4 feet tall. As you are staring at it, it drops from 2 legs to 4 legs. And it starts to walk towards you. Its skin looks like leather, but also like metal at the same time. And you think that there's something liquid or something slimy on it, but you're too far away to tell. But it looks as though it's covered in some kind of film. And it lets out a kind of scream at that point in time, but not a roar.
Run.
Run to the med lab.
Run. So
Okay, so we're going this way then now. Forget the armory. We're going to the med lab.
So
is that what everybody's doing? What are we doing? Tell me what you're doing.
So here's what I want to do. I want to scream at them to run. And then I want to stand like basically at that corner so they can run past me to get away from this thing. And then if this thing charges me or like is still coming towards me, then I'll take an action to deal with it. But I'm screaming at them to run and kind of giving them the block to run down that hallway.
All right. Let's see here. All right, so they're going to get past you fairly easily. But as they're running past you, it is going to charge and attack you. And since they're running, it'll be a combat that's just between yourself and the scout, is what it is.
Is there anything like any debris or rubble on the floor, a chair, anything?
No,
right.
There's not.
Fair enough.
That's a good question, though.
But you said the door of one of those kind of smaller offices or back rooms is open?
Yes, right across.
Okay.
Right here.
All right.
And you could definitely get into that room before it gets to you, but just barely.
I'm ready to go.
All right. If you're ready to go, then I'll let you have... you'll be first in terms of... what's it called? The word just totally left my...
Initiative?
Yes. Initiative between the two of you. If you're going to stand and fight, then you'll have first initiative. If you're going to try and sneak in here, then you'll you'll be caught from behind, essentially.
So yeah, I am going to stand and fight, and I'm doing the whole like roaring a challenge, trying to make myself a bigger target so the other two can get away.
Okay, sounds good. All right,
so
coming at you, and what are you gonna do?
Is it coming at me with just its jaws or its forearms?
It's coming at you on all fours right now. It's running at you.
But it's got like a dog head, or
yeah, I mean it's like it is it's an elongated head. I said it's 3 to 4 feet tall on its back legs, and the head itself, in terms of elongation, is almost probably about a foot long. It's got teeth that you can see that sparkle a little bit in the or shine rather. They look metallic. They shine in the flickering light as it's running towards you.
Cool. So I do not have close combat, so I would just be rolling my strength.
Correct.
Okay. So as this thing charges at me, I just kind of want to swing and punch it in the side of the face.
All righty.
Oh, this was so great. Okay, so the dice roller tells me I had 1 success, but I panicked, but I'm able to barely keep it together.
So that's really effectively a wash. So it's like you took a swing at it, and right before you hit it, you just panicked, but you didn't like collapse or start screaming or anything like that. You're able to kind of keep it together. So you're still ready per se. You're not like going to be taken by surprise or anything. But you don't actually get a strike on it.
Okay. Do I get more stress or anything for this yet?
Not yet.
Okay.
But a good, that's a fantastic question. Everybody else that's running, y'all all get an extra stress at this time.
All right.
Hearing the scream and watching it go after your friends, everybody's
Wonderful.
like,
What the fuck is this?
Royd, what are you doing? Run!
Language!
You run first.
We're already running. Run with us. Come on.
all right. So you've attempted to have a nice little attack, and it almost worked, but it didn't quite work. And so at this point in time,
We're not
creature
gonna
is
make
upon
it.
you.
No, we ain't gonna make it.
All right, so the creature's upon you. All right, so I am going to tell you what it does. All right. It launches itself off the ground to you. It wraps both its arms and its legs kind of into you, clawing you, kind of like a cat does, actually, kind of a pain in the butt. And it's going to knock you down in that moment as well. And I'm going to have to roll and see if it does any damage to you. Hey, do you have any armor?
My character sheet has nothing in the armor section, so I'm assuming that's a no.
Yeah, that sucks.
Wearing my shirt and jeans.
Okay.
Space jeans.
It's probably a coverall.
Space
it does. As it goes to the ground with you, it digs its arms and legs. They have claws on the end of its hands. It digs those into your flesh and kind of rips. Okay. It's gonna do 1 point of damage. So it doesn't do a ton of damage, but it's gonna do 1 point of damage. You're on the ground now, and which means you're prone, of course. And you need to make a panic roll.
Okay, so for the damage, I just mark off one of the health I have.
Yes.
And then a panic roll is just the stress I currently have.
The panic roll is going to be, hold on. No, panic roll is, you can tell that it's been a while since I've ran this. All right, so what you're going to do is you're going to roll a d6, and you have a current stress level of 3. Is that correct?
Yes.
So roll a d6 and add 3 to it and tell me what it is.
So, and we're just looking at the number?
Yep.
So I got a 2 plus 3 is a 5.
Okay, so you're still keeping it together. You're
Cool.
keeping everything together at this point in time. It is going to increase your stress by 1 at this juncture.
All right.
So now you've got 4 stress.
Woo.
All right, so we'll cut to the other 2. Y'all are still running. Are we going to turn around and try and face this guy? Or are we just going to haul butt? What are we doing?
So Morgan would have looked back to see this thing knock Holroyd down. And then, like, under his breath, Morgan's like, cheese and crackers. And he turns around and starts bucking back down the hall with his cutting torch. Toward Holroyd, toward the creature.
Aw, old softy.
Sig is saying, where are you going? We gotta get to the med bay.
Keep going. I'll get Holroyd.
All right. Is that what you're going to do, Sig? Are you going to keep going then?
I think I pause for about 2 seconds, like looking at my hands. I don't have a weapon. It seems like it's bad back there. I'm thinking the docks at the med bay. So yeah, I think I keep booking towards the med bay.
Yeah.
That sounds like a plan. All right. So you're going to at this point in time, in terms of our initiative, what's going to be is it's going to be Caleb on the ground, prone, and then the alien scout, and then yourself, Hirsch.
Right.
So Caleb, you are on the ground, prone.
Okay. So can I try to roll and like shove this thing into this one of the side rooms over here?
You can't grapple it. I'm gonna say you can roll and you can attempt it.
Okay.
Yeah, you can attempt it. From prone, I believe it's either a 1 or 2 dice subtracted. So we'll do 1 without me looking because it's easier that way. And we'll go from there.
That would be the same dice either way. So.
Oh, but I also want you to briefly, real quick, describe what it looks like when this thing tears into your flesh for the first time.
Okay, so these claws rip into my flesh. Holroyd is kind of screaming in pain. The camera zooms in, though, momentarily to see these wicked claws. And what's revealed instead of bone and tendon are mechanical structure and wiring. And then the camera zooms away.
And don't forget the creamy white fluid.
Yes.
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, that's just pumping out everywhere at this point. I forgot about that. Thank you. So camera zooms in on that, and I try to kind of brace my hips on the ground and roll with this thing and shove it towards one of these rooms. To my right, it's left. Come on, dice. God damn it. Okay. So 1 success, but I panicked again. And the dice roller says I dropped an item. And my stress level increases.
All right. So pick an item in your on your sheet and mark through it, or at least no, don't mark through it. Just note that right now you don't have it. It's been knocked away. It may or may not even matter.
It says I had a watch, which I don't know how important a watch is. So I'm going to say it destroyed my watch while it ripped my arms asunder.
That works.
So yeah, I am. It's on top of me. It's like snapping down at me. I try to shift my weight and shove this thing over to my right, but the panic and the terror of this thing being on top of me, like my body slips in the fluid that is escaping me, and it again like crunches into my arms and just I'm fighting. I'm struggling.
All right. So you've done that, and at this point in time, it's kind of standing over you on all fours because you're still prone, because you like to roll and push rather than trying to get up. And so it's going to attack you again. And this time, let's see here. We're still in the hallway, correct?
Yes.
You were trying to push it in here.
Right.
So it's going to reach down. It's going to stand up, rear up on two legs briefly. It's going to reach down with two arms, and it's going to grab you, and it's going to throw you into that room. And it's going to follow after you. You're still prone, and let's see what kind of damage it does to you.
So it picks up and hauls me into the room at the end of the hall.
Yeah, this one right here.
Oh, God.
And it's going to do 2 points of damage. Let's say that whenever you land, you hear something crunch machinery-wise. Don't know what it is exactly. And then, of course, it slashes a few more cuts into your body and arms and stuff. And now we are to Hirsch.
Well, I guess Hirsch is going to try to move into the room behind it.
Well, right now, it's basically right here at the doorway. And you would be probably right there. You actually are going to have what amounts to advantage because he's not looking at you, or it's not looking at you. It's focused on.
All right. So for my first dice roll of this session, the question I have first is that the cutting torch is not a weapon, it is gear.
Correct.
So how do we treat that as a weapon? Can we treat that as a weapon?
If you attempt to treat it as a weapon, then it's going to be more difficult. So you would use whether you're attacking by hand or with the torch, you're going to be using strength. If you attack with the torch, you're adding heavy machinery to it. But I'm going to penalize that significantly because that's not what it's made for. And it's not a question of damage it does. It's a question of you being able to move it into a position where it's going to do that damage. That's why it's difficult. So you would normally roll 6 on that, but you would have to subtract 4 die because of how difficult it is. But you could add 1 because you are getting it from behind. So that would. And
I would not use close combat, even though I'm going into melee with it. With this thing.
I'll let you use close combat.
Okay. But I'm still looking at, obviously I still have the negative. It's still difficult. Well,
but as close, if you're going to use it like more of a close combat, then what I'm going to suggest is you're using it more as a blunt machine than an actual cutting torch.
Like the idea I have is that, with the cutting torch, typically you can you can make it, fine, or you can widen the blow. I'm thinking of like the torches that they've used in Aliens before, where they could actually like basically make it almost like it's shooting a light bit of fire out of it instead of it being like a precision tool.
Okay.
Like he's running up there and turning the nozzle on it so it's got a wider spread.
Okay.
But again, that being said, it's still not a weapon. So however, whatever difficulty you'd like me to roll for it is good with me.
Let's do the way you're describing it. Let's do it as heavy machinery.
Okay.
But I'm not going to give you as big a penalty because of how you described it as well. So let's say the penalty is taking away 2. So you start out with your 6, take away 2 is 4, add 1 is 5.
Okay. And then I'm rolling 3 stress, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Let's see if I put this in right. Cool. 2 successes.
All right.
Woo.
Excellent. Now, I also want you to roll 3d6.
Okay.
And if any of those are 1s, then you're going to lose one of your charges on your...
The power packs?
Yeah.
Okay. No? I don't know. Are either of those 1s?
The
6. Yeah, there is. I did roll
The
one.
alien symbol is a 1.
I rolled
Yeah.
a 1. So, okay. So 1 power pack is gone. There's 2 left.
Correct.
To get the fire to spurt out the end, I basically had to just exhaust the pack.
Okay. And let's say, I don't even know how to treat the damage on that. Let me say, let's look at a blowtorch and see what a flamethrower does, and then we'll go from there. Maybe. All right, incinerator unit's going to do a damage of 2. I'm going to let you use it like that. So you've got a damage of 2 plus 1. Okay.
Okay.
Unless you want to use your bonus for something else. I don't think you probably do with the 5.
No, I don't think I will.
Are you sure?
I think I'm good.
Okay. All right. Good. All right. Let's see here. And I'm going to roll my armor to see how much damage you actually do to me.
All right. So Hirsch comes running in behind Morgan, like just basically yelling, "Devil, I rebuke thee with the Lord's fire!"
All right. So you're actually going to do 3 points of damage to me, which is very significant with the flamethrower.
And there's this like hissing. It's just, you hear this like, and then it's like all the entire fuel pack just like blows out in like one gout.
The scout's going to scream in obvious pain. You can see where that flame has hit it on the backside. You can see blisters that form immediately and pop. And when they do, this green ichor liquid type thing explodes out of it. Doesn't hit you, but hits the floor and starts to melt it. This acidic blood. And then it is going to...
Cheese and rice!
It is going to leap up into a vent shaft that's there, and it's going to force its way in and be gone.
Hirsch, I told you to run, damn it.
Hirsch reaches down to try and help Holroyd up and like literally like stops halfway and is just dumbfounded at what he's seeing coming out of Holroyd.
So yeah, my left arm is shredded. Flesh is hanging off of it. The internal mechanics, metallic structure, tubing and wiring is exposed. That thick, viscous white fluid is kind of oozing everywhere. My shoulder is like out of socket. My arm is like hanging down, all spindly and bad. That's what I fell on. It's like my entire left arm is just shot at this point.
We're going to talk about this later, you son of a biscuit. Now get up and let's get going.
Fine. Oh, ow.
Don't get that stuff on me.
Don't walk over here where it can get on you.
And,
thank you.
Yeah, and Morgan will kind of throw one arm under his arms and kind of help him kind of make his way down the hallway.
We gotta get back to Sig. We gotta try to get out of here.
As you're walking down the hallway, you could hear the receding screams of the creature that you just burned. But they cut off fairly quickly, as though it's kind of semi-collected itself.
Did you see what happened to the floor? Did you see the floor?
Yeah, blood is bad. Its blood is very
everything
bad.
Is bad. Holroyd, everything is bad.
Well, yes, but especially bad. Hey, we're walking by the armory. How's that door looking?
Try and cut into it at this point. If you want to, you've used one of your packs, you go again. It is locked shut. It is, but it's there.
Is it like something I can just try to break?
You can attempt. Yeah, you can do damage to it.
I mean,
you want to?
No, let me. This is perfect for what. Let me do this. Go catch up with Sig. I'll be
no.
I'll be right in the hall.
We got. I don't want to leave you alone if that thing comes back. Try to cut the locking mechanism, and I'll try to force it.
I know how to get a door open.
I'm significantly stronger than you.
Herschel like tuned the nozzle back down to like the cutting beam and then proceed to use the cutting torch as it was intended to cut through metal and hopefully sever the locking mechanism.
Excellent. It
We're gonna go strength and heavy machinery again.
Yes, it's an extremely heavy door. Strength and heavy machinery, and we'll make it too difficult. Take 2 away for how heavy a door it is.
Can I be helping him like by applying pressure on the door as he is cutting into it, like trying to lever it a little bit?
I don't think that would work per se. I like the idea, but I think that in this particular case,
that makes sense.
Yeah, I think we're stuck with just the cutting torch.
Okay, so it was 6 and then we're subtracting 2, correct?
Right. And then you do all of your stress.
Of course we do.
Of course you do.
All right, so I have 4 to roll. Here we go. 1 success, and I get a nervous twitch. My stress level and the stress level of all friendly PCs in short range increases by 1.
That's me.
Runner.
And
so maybe like it sputtered at one point in time and you thought it was going to explode in your hands.
There was a hissing noise coming and it made me like jump to the right, looking down the hall, of course, toward where we last saw the thing.
Where's Sig? Did Sig come back for this? Is he getting an extra point of stress too or no?
I think Sig was still down the hall. Like we kind of stopped at the armory. We didn't really go back to how far Sig made it.
Yeah, Sig ran down to the med bay.
Okay.
Yeah, I was spreading towards the med bay.
Alrighty. Let's as you guys cut into it, let's cut to Sig. And
Oh,
you are
that's
Clever.
That's definitely like the screen wipe. As we cut the door open, we wipe to Sig running to the med bay.
that's right. All right. So when you get into, there's no issues getting into the med lab. This is the little area that she is stuck in. There's a clear glass window, heavy duty, tempered, bulletproof window. In fact, there's actually some spider webs from where people have tried to shoot at it at some point in time. There's a disarray all in this room. Carts have been overturned, and there's different utensils, medical utensils on the floor, and there's blood. There's a examining table right here, and on that examining table is a dead man who's been cut up. There is a dead crab-looking thing on the floor. It's turned over. It's got these spindly arms that are kind of crunched in as though it kind of shrank into itself when it died.
Seafood.
You can see a specimen tube that's off to the side, and there appears to be one that is alive in it. There's some kind of liquid that's in there, and it's kind of thrashing to and fro and hits the glass from time to time. And then there's Comiskey that's just over here behind the locked door, crying. You can see him crying. See her crying.
I think the first thing I'd want to do is when I'm taking all this in is I go up to the specimen tube and I'm looking at that curiously, and then I'm kind of like cutting my eyes over to the doc.
She's not even quite aware of you yet. She's clearly distraught and crying. She hasn't really registered to her that you're in the room.
Is there any kind of so you said there's like a door and I guess a panel. Is there any kind of tray or something that has access to the room that she's in? Like you could pass things back and forth. Is there anything like that?
There's not. There is an intercom built into the wall that's just like specific for the room. So it's not an intercom that's set up with the rest of the intercoms in the building. And the door itself is kind of your standard door. You need key card access. You don't have the key card for it, but it's kind of your standard one. With your success earlier, you wouldn't even have to roll for it. You could just have it opened.
So I'd like to touch the button on the comm for the room that she's in and talk to her.
All right.
And before I do that, I kind of look around, make sure I'm alone currently, that the other two aren't nearby. And then I'd press the button. Hello, doctor.
She looks up startled and sees you through the glass and kind of rushes to where the intercom is and breathily, help me out.
We'll see. Looks like this time I'm in the superior position. You turned your nose up at me before.
She looks at you like she doesn't even know what you're talking about.
Yeah, you thought I was just one of the faceless lab technicians here, but looks like you need me now. What are you doing behind this glass, by the way? And give her a little bit of a smile.
I just woke up there. Help me out. We've got to leave now. I heard the screams.
Where is that key card that you have? Looking over her person.
And she gets kind of quiet at that and pulls back a little bit. And you see her demeanor kind of change for a second into kind of a cold, calculating look kind of crosses her face for a second, and she reaches into her blouse and pulls it out on a lanyard and shows it to you, and then puts it back.
Well, that's good. You have something. I'll click off the button, stop talking to her. And I'm going to look around to see if there's any kind of notes here about why she's in this room.
Oh, that's good. Make an observation roll for me.
Let's see, observation. So that's wits. Okay, so it looks like I have a 4 in wits and a 2 in the observation. So that's a 6 plus my stress. Right. Two success and a panic. Looks like I have tremble. You start to tremble uncontrollably. All skill rolls using agility suffer a -2 modification until your panic stops.
So you do find, while you're looking around, a clipboard, and it's got on it notes, and the notes reference one Adrian Tchaikovsky, and you take it that that's the man that's splayed out on the table behind you. And you start to read the notes, and basically they tell a story about how Tchaikovsky woke up one morning with a sore throat and a pain in his chest, and came into the med lab thinking that he had a cold or maybe the flu. And he seized while he was in the med lab, and they tied him down to try and keep him from hurting himself. And when that happened, something ripped out of his chest and fled out of the room, and they were unable to find it.
I look up from these notes, this clipboard, cut my eyes over to the doctor. How does she look health-wise?
She doesn't look horrible, but she doesn't look great. She's clearly distraught, but as you're paying more attention to her, you note that there seems to be some level of fraudulence to that distraughtness. It's not completely fake, but it's not completely honest either. With your observation roll, you also get to know the answer to one of the following questions. You tell me which one you want to know. Is it coming for me? Are there more of them close by? And, well, actually, it's just those two. The other one doesn't apply in your situation. So,
did you say I get to pick one of those or two of those?
One of those.
One of those. I guess I'd be interested to know if there's others close by.
Okay. So you were really, really paying attention when you were looking around. And one of the things that you observed was a kind of scratching noise that seemed to be almost directly underneath you. And you recollected that the vents that you see above you, that there are similar vents right below you that would lead into E1. And as you're listening, you hear kind of it's not a growl, but it's something similar to it. And then there's some silence.
A very worried look crosses my face. I guess I would go to the hallway and kind of peek my head out and look to the left and right and see if I can see where Holroyd and Hirsch are.
All right, now let's cut back to Holroyd and Hirsch into the armory. Okie dokie. In the armory.
Do we pop the door?
You popped the door.
I imagine that like when Sig looks out the door, you like see us, like you see the backsides like dropping into the armory.
Perfect. And then we cut to the two of you in the armory itself. The vast majority of the weapons that would be on these racks, and you see racks on racks, stacks on stacks. The vast majority are gone.
Of course.
But in the corner, leaning against the wall, there is a Model 37A2 12-gauge shotgun. And on the floor, on the way out, there is a 357 Magnum revolver.
Is there any armor, like any vests or helmets or anything?
No armor.
All right. All right. You take the shotgun. I can't rack with this. And like my arm is like skeleton dance squiggling from some tendons. But I'll grab the Magnum.
Look, can you not shake that at me, please? Oh.
Sorry. Sorry. You
could have told us you were a bot. You know that, right?
It
never came up, right?
It wasn't important information at the time. I'm sorry. Look, the situation is known to the company, but I think it is more important to get people safe right now. That's what I'm trying to do. That's why I tried to get this thing away from you and Sig. I want you to be safe. So let's screw the company right now. We have to be safe. You have to be safe. Please.
So as you're as you're picking up the Magnum after Hirsch has taken the shotgun, you hear echoing through the vents and echoing through the building itself some responding calls that were in response to the scream that this creature let out. You heard it. And you can't tell where they're coming from, and you can't tell how many there are, but it's clearly at least three, and it's clearly from at least three different directions. But it is, it's brief, and then it's gone.
Is the gun loaded as I pick it up?
Yes.
Okay. So hearing the noise, like I freeze for a second. Okay. This is going to get worse and worse. I'm betting Kamitsky is infected. We can't afford to get her off the base, but we need her key card. If we can get the key card and you and Sig can get away, I will hold them off of you so you can escape. Let's try to go.
Plans are so good.
Oh, you might be a bot, but we can all still go. Let's just all try to go. Let's all try to go.
We will all try to go, but if push comes to shove, you need to survive. So let's go.
Are there shells with the shotgun, or is the shotgun already loaded and that's what we've got?
So the way we do ammo in Alien is that we don't worry about it too much.
Okay.
What we say is that we have reloads. Right. So with both of the 357 and the shotgun, there are two reloads. So you've got your ammo and then you've got two reloads. Every time you use one of those weapons, you have to roll to see if you used any of your ammo. And if you did, obviously you did. So at some point in time, I'll probably just tell you did. But
I did not.
Up until that point, you kind of do that to keep track of it.
I did not roll to see if I used up a power pack when I cut into the door.
Oh, yes, you did do that, please. Thank you for reminding me.
And what am I rolling there? Just 1d6?
How many do you have left?
3d6,
Two,
I think you said last time.
We
No, so
three,
this
now
time
you
it'd be
have
2d6, right?
Yep, two.
Okay.
So roll two and see if you get a one.
All right. I did. So another power pack. Gone. One power pack left for our trusty cutting torch.
Alrighty.
So we've gotten the weapons. We've had our conversation. I think we're kind of having this conversation as we go down the hallway towards the med bay and Sig.
Where Sig is looking out at you and waiting for you to arrive.
As I see the two of them approach, I quickly duck my head back into the med lab. I'm looking at the living specimen. Is that something in a tube or something I could take with me?
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty big. You'd have to, what kind of stuff do you have on you right now?
I've got a med kit and a lab coat. That's the only type of gear.
You'd probably have to drop the med kit to take it with you.
Is there any kind of table or anything here in the med lab?
A table?
Like a table on wheels or anything like that?
There's one. It's been tossed to the ground with everything else that's been tossed, and as a result, one of the four wheels is broken off.
Okay. I guess I look at that, thinking through my head, I'd really like to take one of these with me. That would be really up my status with the scientific community, with the corporation. I guess I hear the footsteps of my two companions nearby now.
Yes, and you also heard the screams, not the screams, but the calls of the other aliens.
That are rattling through the vent system, those cries.
Yep.
I guess I'll meet them at the entranceway to the med lab.
Sig, are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. I read some notes about the doc here, who's definitely in quarantine. I think something's wrong with their these creatures. Look like some of them rip out of people's bodies.
So you can't help but notice as Holroyd walks up that his left arm is completely dead and dangling and is absolutely mechanical.
There's a look of shock that rolls over my face. My eyes go wide as I'm looking at the milky stuff kind of squirting out of you.
Yeah.
You're
sorry.
an android.
Yeah, I'm sorry. But look, I want you all to be safe. I want to get you boys out of here safe. So what were you saying about the doc?
How much of that white stuff can you lose?
Maybe
we should stop that. Can we tie those off or something?
Yeah, we could do that real quick.
Sig, can you cinch those up?
I'll give it a shot. What are we doing about the dock in the meantime? It sounds like those creatures they're coming this way.
Are you trying? Hold on. Let me. I was looking at something. Were you trying to repair the android?
Yeah, or at least stop the leaking fluid or something along those lines.
So the android can repair himself.
I can? I didn't know that.
It's a Comtech roll. It takes some time to do it.
Okay, so when Hirsch says that, I'm like, okay, so I mean, it's not going to kill me. I can take care of it, but it's going to take time. I don't think we have time. So maybe we can just tie my arm up in a sling here for a second.
While we're figuring out what to do with the dock, why don't you stop that stuff from coming out of you?
So about this time, something happens.
Oh, boy.
You are having this conversation about what to do in terms of healing and fixing the android and what are we going to do about the dock. And you happen to hear this kind of thump. And if you look up, you'll note that the dock is no longer visible through the window at the med lab. At the same time that you hear that thump from the med lab area, you also hear a call similar to the ones that you just heard, but this one a single one, and it is close by.
Everybody, we need to back into the back of the wall of the med lab here.
The doc has the key card to the transport though, right?
Yeah, we're gonna have to get that for sure, but sounds like we may have some more pressing matters.
Oh boy. We're getting tested today. We've had enough testing, Lord.
I hate tests. Never liked them. You can see I'm kind of trembling, by the way, from this whole experience lately.
So if we look into the lab, is the doctor collapsed on the floor?
Yes, and she is seizing.
Do I see her key card?
Froth coming out of her mouth. It's white, but as you're watching, it turns red.
Okay. Well,
are you watching by yourself, or is everybody else with you?
I think Sig being curious is fascinated and probably has one eye looking at the seizure and the other eye looking on the doorway into the med lab.
Hirsch is staring at the eyes darting to the ceiling, to the doors, to the ceiling, to the doors, like not paying attention to the doc at all.
Excellent. So the two of you that are looking at the doc, her seizures get worse. The foam is now almost like spitting a little bit. And then her body kind of jerks and heaves itself off the floor a few inches and then down. And then heaves itself off the floor again and then down. And you see a red patch that starts to grow on her chest.
Oh,
and
God.
Then
God.
One more time, and something comes out of her, and you can see it moving underneath her shirt. And then one more time, and it comes out and rips through her shirt, and it's a little runner.
Oh, mother fucker. Oh.
It looks very similar to what y'all just saw, but
Language.
much smaller.
Language, Holroyd.
That's nasty.
Did we take more stress for that?
Yes, you did.
I figured.
Both of you took more stress for it.
Seems reasonable.
But not Hirsch because he's too busy looking at everything else.
So is the runner contained in the office right now, or is it darting away?
It's looking for a place to go, but has not been able to find a place.
Well, I was going to say we'd get the key card off of her, but I vote against that now. Shit.
There's the good thing is that there's not much in that room, so you can keep your eye on it. It's not able to hide, so to speak. There's no. She woke up in there by herself. There's one table, but it's secured to the floor, and so the only place that it can go that you wouldn't see it is behind that table.
Sig is looking to see where she tucked her key card earlier. Is that visible at all?
It is actually. Whenever it popped through her chest, it popped the key card to the side. So now the key card and the lanyard are kind of hanging off the side of her neck. Key card's on the ground. You can easily see it. It's clearly in one piece.
Sig looks at the two of them. You guys have weapons, so you got into the armory, obviously.
Yeah, we did.
Yep.
Did y'all close the door to the med lab when y'all came in?
I think it's still open right now.
Definitely
Yeah,
still open.
I don't think we're that smart.
So about this time, you hear a very similar noise to the one that you heard when you first broke into B block. But this is definitely louder. And what moves into the doorway is much bigger. This thing is on 2 feet, and it has a longer, elongated face. And in addition to the claws on its hands, you can see these sharp barbs sticking out of its elbows as well. And it has a tail that's whipping behind it. And you can tell that that's what the noise is that you heard. And the tail has this huge barb at the end of it. And it roars at you. And when it roars at you, it opens its mouth, and another mouth comes out of its mouth and snaps, and then it comes back in. And it takes a step into the room. And this is where we would normally do initiative. And initiative is based on card draws, which is a real pain in the butt. So we're just going to do kind of the old-fashioned roll for initiative. And since there's only 4 of us, I guess we will roll. You guys have a D20 close to you? If not, we'll roll D6s.
I do not, but I can get one.
Let's just do D6s then.
All right.
What are our numbers here?
I got a 3.
3?
Yeah.
I got a 1.
6.
All right. I got a 6 as well. So the alien is going to attack first, followed by Hirsch, and then the android, and then lastly our valiant, totally selfless doctor, only thinking of others, definitely not thinking of himself. So the alien walks into the room and launches itself at Hirsch, because Hirsch is the closest one.
Oh, buddy. Oh, buddy.
Jesus, take the wheel.
Oh, Lord. It grabs your shoulders and opens its jaws wide, just like you saw. And the jaws inside the jaws come shooting out. And let's see what kind of damage it does to you.
Oh, I have an idea.
0.
Hey,
It just gives you a little kiss.
It's always possible. I haven't done a lot of damage lately.
The times they are a changing.
Oh, no. Oh, no. You all watch in horror as it lifts Hirsch up, opens its jaws wide, and little jaws inside shoot through his face and out. Brains fly and hit the wall behind him, because neither one of you are there, so luckily you didn't get hit. But both of you have stress increased by 1 at that point.
I like to think that they're out of focus. Hirsch's body like kind of drops to the ground out of focus, and then what you see is the little crucifix necklace like bounce across the floor plate in focus.
The beads, of the rosary like scatter.
Yes.
Hirsch!
And the critics say that it's a ripoff of when Batman's parents got killed, but that's okay because we still loved it.
And then nerds argue about it on the internet forever.
Forever. All right. It is Holroyd's turn.
I'm just gonna unload my pistol at its general direction of its face.
All righty.
Is it just possible that the shotgun might have like clattered across the floor and like landed at 6 feet?
I would like to think that it did clatter across the floor, but it is between the alien and Sig. So if he's brave enough to go for it, he can get it. It's not in his hands, but it's within his reach if he wants to make that ballsy move to go after it.
All right.
All right. So ranged combat is my agility plus the ranged combat, which is 7.
And then you're going to +1. You get an extra dice for the actual gun itself.
Okay. So that is 8. I also have 8 stress. So here we go. That says no successes.
Ooh,
If I remember correctly, there's a mechanic where I can re-roll.
that's right. You have
I'm
to
gonna
add
do
another
that
stress
thing.
die. Got to add another stress die.
Okay. So hit the re-roll button. And I still didn't get any successes, but I am now panicked and catatonic.
Oh,
Yay!
This is rapidly going downhill for us.
No.
It's been going downhill for the last 2 hours.
That's actually, I said no, but I think it's literally no because synthetics do not panic.
Ooh.
Oh,
Well.
So that is your positive, but you didn't succeed.
that is
You
so
also
many
can't-
dice
You
and
also
no
can't-
successes.
Yeah, you also can't push. And so the way we would normally do this is if we knew that you were synthetic from the beginning, we'd play you with synthetic the whole way, which would mean that you can't panic, you can't suffer stress, and you can't push. So once we had this big reveal, so after this big reveal, we're doing away with all of your stress.
Oh,
So
biscuits.
from this point on, you have no stress. You just have your base, and you can't get stress and you can't push, but you never make any panic rolls. So you are good to go. You just didn't hit me. Now I want you to roll 2d6s to see if you lose some of your ammo.
I did not get a 1 on either of those 2 dice.
Yay.
So you take a couple of shots, however many you want to say you take, but none of them hit. They all just kind of hit the wall behind where the alien is standing. And Sig, it's up to you.
So it sounded like from the narration earlier that Hirsch is definitely dead or severely hurt. What's
Oh, no,
the
he's
status?
Super
He's dead. Super dead. Brains out the
instant death.
back.
Yeah, silvery, metallic, silvery, tiny mini mouth popped through the back of my head.
How much damage did you roll for that, Al? I'm curious.
Okay, so there's this. What I really love about this game is the aliens, obviously. But the
Clearly.
reason I love the aliens is because when you attack with an alien as the mother or the DM, there are some attacks that, if they are successful, automatically kill.
Oh, shit.
And this is one of them. So, this is really the only one, but it is an automatic kill. All I have to do is do any damage. Since you have no armor, you don't even have a chance to balance it. If you had armor, you could theoretically balance it, and then you could maybe live. But as long as there's damage done with this particular attack, you are dead. So,
Well, Al, thanks for the game. I look forward to playing with you again.
I love this game.
Let's see how the rest of the group does.
So Sig is darting his eyes around this med bay. Is there any kind of I don't know, freezing gas or anything like that might be useful in a fight here? I see the shotgun, but it's a little far away from me.
Okay, so if you want to roll an observation roll, basically that would be kind of a search, and I'll let you do it.
Is that my action,
find
so to speak?
Right, exactly. That would be your action. You wouldn't be able to do anything past that.
I guess Sig would be thinking, I'm not really good with firing weapons. Maybe there's something in here I can use. So let me go that route. You said observation.
Yes.
Let's see.
And I am going to say that in this particular case, with this thing right here, you're going to lose 2 die because it is definitely distracting you.
Sure, that's fair. Okay. So that's -2. 1 success and a panic I freeze. You're frozen by fear or stress for 1 round, losing your next point of action.
Okay, so with the success, roll 2 d6s for me.
A 3 and a 3, 0 success.
Okay, no, that just is to see what kind of item you found. Okay, so you do notice that against the wall there is it's a surgical tool, but effectively it is what you would use to crack bones. And so essentially, if you can get to it, and it's further away than the shotgun, but if you can get to it, then you have a secondary weapon that you can use in close combat that would potentially do some damage.
It's like a big lobster sheller.
Yeah, pretty much.
All right. Well, I'm frozen with fear right now, so I take that in, but I'm very stiff with fear. My eyes are wide, trembling.
So the alien at this point in time steps over the body of our dearly departed Hirsch, and turns its attention solely onto the android, lets out a roar, and attacks. And let's see what happens. All right. So when it gets close to you, it sees that you are not the same as the other creatures in here. And so it starts to rattle its tail more than what you saw before. And it spreads its arms wide and it hisses at you. But it decides that but it does not attack at that point in time. Instead, it raises the stress level of you and, you don't have any stress, but it raises the stress level of Sig.
Okay.
And now it is the android's turn.
Would I be able to pick up the shotgun with it and still shoot? No.
No, I would say that you could probably get to it if you wanted to, but the problem is that the way this alien approached you, it essentially walked between you and the shotgun.
Gotcha.
So if you want to get to the shotgun, I'll let you do it, but you won't be able to do anything else. The only positive to that is that it puts you in a different position with regards to the alien.
Okay. It's like right in my proximity. It's
Right.
not like it's far away, right?
Right.
And it kind of turned away from me a smidge.
A little bit, yeah.
A little bit? Okay. Can I just point blank shoot it? Like, I'm just going to put the pistol on it and fire.
So, yeah, you can.
Why wouldn't I just do that?
Yeah. Because it's a pistol and because of how close it is, you are not going to get the +1, but that doesn't really matter. You still get everything else.
All right. So, well, really then all I'm rolling is my agility plus my ranged combat.
Yes, sir.
So 7.
7.
Well, 2 successes. I think it's the first time I've been successful tonight.
All right. You want to do extra damage? With
Yes,
the
please.
Success?
Yeah.
Okay, so the 357 does 2 damage, and you have another one that's 3 damage, and I will roll my armor to see if you actually did the damage. Isn't it fun to be an alien? Get to roll armor and everything.
What a jerk.
Oh, and this one's a big.
And it's a blast, Al.
It is a blast. This is the funnest game to be a DM or the mother for. This is fantastic.
That's a lot of dice you're rolling. What the hell?
On the plus side, I came into this expecting to die. So
your first two shots don't appear to do any damage. But the third one does punch a hole in the chest. It doesn't do much to the alien. It just kind of roars louder at you, but it does punch that hole. Some acid kind of splashes out.
And then do I need to roll for the pistol again?
Yes.
Is that 2 dice again or 3?
You lost one last time, right?
Good.
No, you didn't. You did not.
I did not.
So it's 2. It's 2.
Okay. Neither was a 1.
All right. Still got 2 to go then. All right, and no action from Sig because he's still frozen for this turn.
Right.
But you'll be able to move next turn. We're right here engaged, and so the alien's going to attack you again.
Me?
Yep, you. Who else would he attack?
Was hoping he wouldn't care because I'm not food. But I did just shoot it. So
there's something about you that really bothers this thing. And it does something that you would never have thought it would do.
Gives me a big smoochie.
No.
Oh.
It leaps. It's right in front of you, but it still kind of leaps. And when it leaps, it whips its tail around itself. Okay? It whips its tail around itself and rips itself in half. And acid blood goes splashing on you and Sig.
Oof.
I'm sorry, Sig. I'm sorry.
Now, this is not the end of the world. It's actually probably pretty good for you because most of the time those acid attacks don't really kill you. They just do some damage. But we'll see.
Now, and didn't Holroyd make a big speech about you guys got to get out of here live?
Yeah.
I tried.
Did you though? Did you?
Not for me to decide. So higher power will judge us.
Yeah, that's exactly the answer that Morgan would have given you.
Look one thing up real quick, and I'll tell you what happens.
Look things up while we're playing games. Great audio for a podcast.
Good thing that once we actually cut it down to a podcast, we just cut all this stuff out.
I mean, if we cut everything out for the podcast, this is going to be like 40 minutes.
This is where the jokes live in these moments.
They do. They breathe
guys.
in these moments.
Guys, I was wrong. I was so wrong. You both take 17 points of damage.
It's fine.
So acid it hurts more. Acid's worse than you thought.
That's not a big deal. Oh, wait a minute.
So wrong.
The opposite.
Oh, man.
So that definitely means I'm broken. I don't know if I guess I need to make a roll at this point.
I had 4 health left. So that's -13. I think I'm dead.
But it turns out that white fluid is counteracting the acid.
It's aloe vera.
All right.
I've got moisturizer coursing through my veins.
Hour of desert plants will save me.
You're like, I can do it. I can survive all of this. I swear.
Glad you got that med pack.
Right. It'll be so handy right now.
Okay, so effectively, you're going to be dead. But let's go ahead. Let's see what happens. Let everybody roll a critical injury roll. Let's see what happens.
How do we do that?
How do we do that, Al?
You roll 2 6s and then tell me what they are. Roll 1 6 first. That's going to be your 10, and then another 6. That's going to be your 1s. So it's a D66, but do it with 2 6s. First one's your 10s, and second one's your 1s.
A D66.
Oops, I did something wrong.
You probably added it together instead of doing it separately. You may have to do this one by hand.
26 for me.
51.
Oh, nice. Okay, so you busted a kidney. Got some nice acid that just got to your kidney directly. And that acid totally melted off your actually I take it back. Caleb, you roll just 1d6 and tell me what it is.
Biscuits. Six.
All right, you this is a system shutdown for you. You have
Yay, I'm dead.
You're not dead because you don't die, but you are done.
I'm effectively dead. Let me die, Al.
You can be a witness for the future people that come across.
Al, let me die.
And you're broken. You've got the kidney issue that's really going to be tough. The problem is that there's not really a mechanism for you to survive this because I would just attack you over and over again. So you're dead.
So maybe that
was a little anticlimactic.
As Holroyd's systems shut down, you see the big alien towering over Sig, and you see that that tail whip around and slam down, and the mouth come out and pop, and then the other 2 aliens come out of vents in the ceiling and just start. And as your vision fades,
and then it goes
the shutdown.
Roll credits.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I guess that's the end of our game.
I believe that was Hope's last day.
It was Hope's last day. That's the beauty of the game. It's you can do so well, but it really just takes one bad run-in with an alien and you're dead.
I feel like this would be great as a DCC game if we had one character sheet with 4 characters on it. We had our own little, every person got a little Marine squadron.
That would be fun, actually. That's a fantastic idea. That would be a lot of fun. A lot of rolling, but it'd be a lot of fun.
All right. So this was a great game. Al, thank you so much for running. Jerry, Michael, thank you so much for playing with us. So let's chat a little bit about the game before we get out of here tonight. I have never played the Aliens role-playing game before, so this is my absolute first experience.
Me too.
Al, okay, Michael, so this is brand new for you. Al, you're a veteran. You've played this before. Jerry, what about you?
I've played it once before.
Okay. So from my experience, I feel like thematically, this is exactly on par with what I expect from the Aliens universe. The roles are challenging. The stress mechanic really kind of heightens that sci-fi horror feel. So I think mechanically, this sample adventure gave us a great experience of a lot of dice rolling. We got to see the aliens. We got to see how terrible this place was. It thrust us right into the thick of the action. So since the whole premise of this sample adventure concept is to say, does this effectively teach us the game? I think this was successful.
I think so.
Michael, yeah, what are your feelings here?
I think, I came into this, I had not played it before, but I've heard from multiple people about how well this sets up that vibe. It captures the feeling of the movies, of the universe. And also, again, that it is a very deadly game. That if the players make it out of a particular scenario, a lot of the time it is by the skin of their teeth, or it is by sheer luck of the dice. And I did get that feeling here, from the jump. It was very clear that we were in a very bad situation, and that the likelihood of us making it out was slim at best. And I liked that. I enjoyed it's kind of playing the futility of it, right? Like we saw that big alien come in the door and we knew there were going to be a couple more. And as a player, I was like, this is going to be great. But I also was like, there's no way we make it out of this room alive. This is it.
Now it's kind of an interesting dynamic here, because we as players, we know the Alien movies. We know how deadly they are. We know how killer they are. We know mechanically what's going on all the time. But I think the mechanics in this game also support that in-character realization. The stress track really mechanically shows us we know we're in a worse situation. We know something bad is going to happen. And I liked how also mechanically then you had those stress effects that helped influence your role play. Like, did you barely escape? Even there were chances when you could not get even if you made a panic roll, you would not have an effect of that panic. And that tells you, okay, you barely survived. That helps you inform the role play. Or you made the roll successful or not, but you're catatonic or you're trembling. And then there may or may not be mechanical impacts. I think that is a very nicely done mechanic to help you get into that feeling of the game. I think even the way you roll the dice, you're rolling a pool of D6s, but only 6s are good and only 1s are bad. Like even that futility of, can I get a 6?
It's a game of extremes.
Yes. And correct me if I'm wrong here, Al, but I believe for almost any roll, you only need 1 success to be successful, right?
It should be any roll, actually. I think I have mistakenly played it otherwise before. But I think generally the way it's written, it is that you just need to succeed.
Okay.
And where you modify is not by how many successes it's by how little or how much dice you get to roll.
Right.
So that if you have a positive modification, you're rolling more dice. If you have negative modification, you're rolling less dice, but you're still just trying to get to that 1 success to be successful.
And that also informs the desperate, horror-driven, whether you're driving a car or rewiring something or shooting somebody, you only need that 1 success. That tells us as players, it's not, okay, I rolled a D20 and I got 45, but the DC was 10. Like it's, can I get that 1 success? That gut feeling is right there. So Al, Jerry, since you've played before, what are your feelings about this starter adventure, the sample adventure? Does it give us as players or as GMs enough to really experience all that you can do in the game? And does it help you want to do more?
Well,
you go first, Jerry.
Well, I feel like the scenario, the way it's set up, it really evokes the Alien movies, and you feel like from the get-go, the desolation, things are grim and are going to get grimmer, and it feels like just how long can you last? How long can you survive until you die? It feels how it's set up, and to dovetail on what was said earlier, Caleb, I like the stress mechanic a lot. I mean, you roll those dice, and you have a better chance of succeeding at your roll. But if you get the face hugger things, your stress is going to go up, your panic's going to go up, and you have these effects like you lose your turn, and I mean it just starts to quickly spiral downward for you.
Very high risk reward from those dice.
Exactly. Yeah.
Jerry, when you played previously, do you remember what scenario it was by chance?
So it was this one, and I was trying not to metagame as best I could. We had a larger group. There were 6 of us, and we actually managed to get out. The Holroyd kind of did what Caleb was doing and kind of stepped in and kind of held the alien back for a while. And the rest of us, we had the weapons at that point from the armory, and we were able to damage it enough so that it fled. And then we went into the garage and got the vehicle. I was playing the pilot whose name escapes me right now, and we just got the heck out of there. And there were I think 50 of the aliens chasing us in our vehicle all the way back to the shuttle. And then when we got on the shuttle, is that okay if I do spoilers for what happens later?
Spoiler warning, everybody. Spoiler warning.
We didn't get there, so I think it's good.
Yeah. All right, so yeah, spoilers. So we got on the shuttle, and there were aliens there too already. So we booked it into the cockpit, shut the cockpit door. I think a couple of us got hurt, trying to reach the cockpit before the door shut, and then we lifted off. So we survived, and I'm trying to think, did we lose one player or none? I think we lost one person, but we managed to get away. But there were some of the aliens in the back messing around. So I don't know. That I guess we could have got off planet, then maybe the ship would have got acid on it, and we could have crashed. I don't know.
It's kind of fun at the end with this scenario. If you do manage to get away, what the book says basically is that you're never heard from again. You may have survived, but within the context of the alien universe, you're gone. You disappeared. You won, but you disappeared. And that's just, I guess, to try and keep you in line with the events and aliens and stuff. But I just think it's kind of funny because, you survive, like you're saying, who knows if you actually are going to make it anywhere. You just got off.
Exactly.
Wayland Yutani definitely would have picked us up, and we still would never have been heard from again.
That's true. I very much like with these pre-generated characters for the sample adventure, it gave everyone relationships, rivals, and buddies.
Yep.
It also gave everyone some nice backstory, not an in-depth story, but why they were here on the station and what some of their ulterior motives were. So for me with Holroyd, his ulterior motives were basically he kind of flipped the script and wanted to save the people, even though he was a company man.
Yeah.
And if I remember correctly, Jerry Sig was trying to get a sample so that he could earn some clout with the company.
I'm trying to advance in the scientific community of the corporation.
Yeah.
And
it's really interesting. In terms of the sample, in terms of it being a sample adventure, it definitely gives you a taste of all the mechanics.
Mm-hmm.
It definitely throws you right in there. But I would say that the difference between running this and running one of their cinematic scenarios, the Chariot of the Gods or Destroyer of Worlds, the biggest difference between those two would be the difference between a short story and a novel, or a short story or short video, short film versus a full-length film. This one, is really designed for you to lose. I mean, even the way it's written is basically if your players take too long, then something else should happen. And that's essentially what happened to y'all. Y'all were sitting there talking about what you're going to do next for so long that, just reading it, it's you should have something happen. Okay, well, there's this alien that was down there. Now he's up here, and good luck with that. But it is definitely meant to be a one shot too. whereas the other ones are 3 to 5 shots. They're 3 to 5 sessions. And so you have much more time to develop that relationship, which is really cool. When you can really develop the relationship with your rivals and your buddies, that is a lot of fun, because you just kind of get to where you're, especially with rivals, you're almost like acidic toward each other. It's you gotta be careful, right? Because some people have a hard time with that with role play, but it's really kind of fun to watch when it happens. So this is great for a sample adventure, but it doesn't give you quite the full flavor, I would say. I'd say It gives you like 80% of the flavor, but there's another 20 that's really kind of cool out there that you can delve into.
Well, when I was playing before, I was playing, the name came to me, Singleton, the pilot. I had a piece of gear on me, which I thought made a huge difference to our survivability. I had the tracker, and I activated that early on. So we kind of knew when something insidious was nearby and could kind of avoid to a degree, or kind of prepare. I think that made a huge difference in our survivability as a group.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think this was a great sample adventure. I think it really gave us a taste of the mechanics. It solidly fulfilled and delivered on the flavor of the genre and the universe. I think it left us wanting more from a bigger story and extra mechanics. And I think as an adventure, as it was written start to finish, it was very effective. In this case, it was very much you're going to lose no matter what, but the story carried through start to finish. Even, Al, as you were saying, hey, you're taking too long, let's throw some more bad stuff at you. It still fits the story. It still fits the universe. It wasn't just arbitrary, let's force the players along. It was, but it very much fit the style of the game and the genre and the story. Well, I mean, so I'm going to consider that very effective.
How often have any of us watched a movie that's similar to this, where there is a life-threatening situation happening and you are constantly yelling at the screen, you do not have time to have this conversation right now.
What are you doing?
Yeah, right?
Right. Well, I'm going to consider this a very successful sample adventure. I think this was a great game overall, start to finish. Highly recommend this game. Highly recommend this adventure as a sample. Thank you, everybody, for playing. Thank you for any listeners, past, present, future. Let's do some sign-offs here. Al, let's start with you. Where can we find you out there on the internet?
All right. I'm Alan, Big Al Nicholas. You can find me on Twitter at Big Al the Lawyer. And you can find me on the RPG Academy Discord if you happen to be on that. I'm pretty active there. And otherwise, I'm disappearing into the ether.
Jerry, what about you?
I don't really do social media for the most part, but you can find
Smart
me
man.
You can find me on Discord at the RPG Academy, or I'm pretty active on the Star Wars RPG community, listed as a full parentheses Jerry.
All right, Michael.
Well, I'm Michael. You can find me on social media at LoserMLW. You've probably seen me on a couple of things here at the RPG Academy already. I'm also, I do the Redemption podcast, which is redemptionpodcast.com. It's an actual play Star Wars campaign. We are coming into season 8, which will be our last season in the fall. And then you can also find me coming back, I believe, in July on the Identico channel on Twitch, along with our handsome Mr. Caleb G, the Caleb G, playing in the Chaos Inc. stream using the Identico role-playing system.
Yes, absolutely. Very much looking forward to that game coming back. I myself, I am on the socials at the Caleb G. You can hear me here. You can hear me on Identico. Hopefully some more stuff coming down the road as we get some more time to jump back on the mics. You can also follow my charity work at point5past.org on the socials. The number 5 past. That is a charity project where we release games, gaming, and entertainment content with the hopes that if you like what you read, hear, or use, you will make a donation to a charity instead of sponsoring us. Give the money to them. Right now, we are working with Pelotonia, an outstanding cancer research charity. That is 0.5past.org. And from all of us here at the RPG Academy, thank you so much for listening. We have a lot of fun doing this, but we want to take a second and remind all of you listeners, if something you love isn't fun anymore, that might be a sign that you're going through something that you need some help. It is okay to ask for help, to address your mental well-being. Incredibly crucial in this day and age. All of our podcasts, all of our shows will start to carry and are carrying links to a variety of mental health and personal well-being supports, support structures, support contacts, hotlines. Please, 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 if you feel any need, please reach out. We love you. We are here together as a community for each other, but don't be afraid to talk to a professional. Therapists are very good at their job, and they are here to help you. From all of us here at the Academy, we love you. Thank you so much for listening. Stay weird, drink your water, take care of yourself. Have a great time. Thank you, and we will see you later on.